A lot of really important news has come out over the last week, and I'm here to give you guys the breakdown. We have some companies fighting over issues about Slander, CloverWorks is in trouble, big shock to nobody, and so much more. So if you're interested in any of this news, definitely stay tuned. For our first bit, we have Overlap has announced that the Black Summoner Isekai light novel series will be getting an anime adaptation that will premiere in 2022. So announcement and pretty much in the same year. So, I mean, they could still have delays, but Studio Satellite will be doing the series. And the thing that I found interesting in the staffing that they've selected for the series is the character designer is Miwa Oshima, who is known for doing Ao-chan Can't Study and My Next Life as a Villainess. Done some really solid character designs. So for those unfamiliar with the series, the synopsis is waking up in a strange new place with no memory of his past life. Kelvin learns that he's borrowed away those very memories in exchange for very powerful new abilities during his recent transmigration, heading out into the new world as a summoner, with his first follower being the very goddess who brought him over. Sounds like Konosuba. Kelvin begins his new life as an adventurer, and it isn't very long before he discovers his hidden disposition as a battle junkie. He revels in the fight against one formidable foe after another. For fans of Daemon, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly, we have got the official premiere date announced for this series. It will be premiering on April 6th. For those unfamiliar with the series, essentially is a guy who goes back to basically take over his father's business, and apparently going back to this hometown, there's a girl who is claimed as being the successor, who I guess is going to be a little upset about that. I haven't got a full idea of the story yet, but the PV looks really cute, so definitely looking forward to that one next season. Moving on, we have bushyroad has apparently announced that they have successfully won their first civil case against defamation. Now, apparently the whole spiel here is that a year ago they announced that they were basically taking action against people that were defaming their clients, and apparently they have somehow figured out some special technique to do that. I don't know the full details of it, but essentially what they're saying is that they're working to seek out the identity of individuals by requesting the disclosure of sender information. So essentially that means that if there's a post on Twitter that says this client is doing this and they're terrible people or something, they can go to Twitter and get their identity. I don't know. It's kind of in that whole realm of, I think some companies just don't realize how technology works sometimes. Like, oh, where's that their internet there, and we can just do this thing and find where they're at. Yeah, I guess if people are posting their real identity, they're using some sort of service that will require their real identity. It's easy to find that information, but I don't know. They even themselves claim that they're not looking to tell every case that they're seeking out against people, but they're specifically knowing that this stuff takes time. Yeah, unless people are dumb enough to get that information out there about their identity before they say something bad, I guess you can go after them, but at least for them, they seem like they're doing well. But I mean, all the power to them. If somebody's, especially death threats, it needs to be taken serious, but we'll see if that goes anywhere from there on. And I guess one of their clients can be covercorp, or specifically Russia. I kind of had a whole video where I talked about the whole issue with VTubers and the idol industry and all that kind of stuff. It was a great video, had a lot of great feedback from people. Learned some things I didn't learn before, like the fact that apparently Russia, the company sold wedding bands to people for Russia, so that makes it all the better for my whole argument and this idea that this basically selling this person to people, and so when they get upset, it's no wonder. But yes, CoverCorp apparently has come out and basically said that they're not liking the fact that there is a lot of harassment for Russia. Specifically, they note the idea that they, as a company, do not get into the lives and the private lives of their VTubers, which I think is fantastic. Again, that goes against my whole statement about the idol industry itself, and the idea that, you know, again, when somebody gets in a relationship, they get graduated. We'll see if that's true. They could just be saying that to save face, but at the same time, they have a really big, huge issue on their hands with Russia currently, and how they handle it, I think, is good so far. But they have announced that they are taking action against slander and defamation that has been directed towards Russia specifically. They note the fact that she and other Hololive talents have been facing a lot of harsh emotional stress, which I think is terrible, obviously. But they stated that there has been an outburst of misleading information to third parties, as well as leaks of information including fellow business correspondents. But yeah, again, similar to the whole bushyroad situation, I mean, you don't have to know that they're taking action against you in order for you to stop being a bad person, but obviously keep that in mind the next time you post something really slanderous. Threats and stuff like that is not really welcome, and it's never kind of allowed in society, and it's something that really shouldn't be happening. So yeah, if you bought a wedding ring from your yandere Russia, stop being a jerk. What do you expect? I can't get over that. What do you expect when you sell engagement rings to the character itself? Who, as long as you're making money, right? You don't care until it all blows up in your face. But anyways, moving on. Crunchyroll has announced that they have finally got a Crunchyroll app on the Switch. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, you're going on a trip or whatever, definitely download it on there. The other cool thing is that they have allowed offline play, so if you want to download a lot of shows onto your memory card, you can watch them on the road, which is fantastic. Hopefully it works good. I've had some ups and downs when it comes to apps from Crunchyroll, but we'll see. But that's definitely exciting news. For fans of paworks, be on the lookout for High Dive next season, because starting in April, High Dive will be streaming Your Boy Kong Ming, which is the series that I've talked about on here before. It's definitely a series I'm super excited for. paworks, as usual, beautiful work, and that's a story that sounds very interesting to me. Sentai Filmworks has already announced that they will begin streaming on High Dive on April 5th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so set your calendars. For next news, Thurmai Romai Novai, a series that Netflix announced quite a while back, is finally got a set date for its premiere. They released a new trailer for it, so definitely check that out because Kendra Suda is amazing, so it's awesome. But in that trailer, they have announced that these series will premiere on March 28th worldwide on Netflix, so set your calendars once again for that series. I will definitely be checking it out. I love Kendra Suda, and you could just hear his voice in that entire series. And yeah, hearing Kendra Suda talk about how a bidet is amazing is good as well. And for our final bit of news, like I kind of alluded to at the very beginning, yes, it does seem like at least one team within CloverWorks is not doing so well. And it's sad because it's something that we kind of foreseen long before the season even began. There was some reports about some people that were working within the group for Tokyo 24th Ward that was already tweeting out that, things aren't going well. It's not looking good. They were talking about how scheduling and stuff were already seeing problems, and they didn't really think this project was going to do well. Well, apparently, it's cool that it took them this long before something happened, I guess, but they have announced on the official website that the 7th episode will have a 1-week delay. So that, of course, will put it on broadcast for the 23rd. And they've said it on the actual website that this is to maintain quality. And of course, again, the big problem here comes from some little chirping birds that are on the internet that are kind of letting us know that, yeah, things aren't going well. Like specifically the animation director, which I think was the one that kind of chirped about some issues way before this series started, has been posting a couple things. I mean, on February 3rd, he was kind of mentioning the idea that there was scheduling problems. Just a lot of the concerns that are coming out of this. By animation director, I mean specifically Kiminori Ito, who again has been posting a couple things on Twitter. It seems like he's gone quiet for a while, but for a while there, he was pretty forward with how things were going. And this being in the wake of us seeing some pictures coming out of Attack on Titan MAPPA where they're talking about finally being able to go home after 3 days of being at work. So definitely overworked, but at the same time, I'm not like most people. I honestly see that in a lot of jobs. I personally, a couple of years ago, was in a job like that where literally I was spending my entire week literally in front of the computer until I basically passed out. It's sadly normal in a lot of companies, but I think we have such a passion and a love for the art of anime that I think it makes us a little more upset when we see that the people that work so hard on it are suffering, rather than, just your typical person that you may walk down the street and pass by. But again, not to say that's a good thing. I just think that a lot of people suffer with that kind of overworking. And I definitely hope things change for all these companies. And again, despite the fact that early on I was saying 3 shows, something's going to go wrong with CloverWorks, did we not learn anything from last year? They lasted longer than I thought they would, and it seems like all the shows are still doing well. So hopefully the team behind Tokyo 24th Ward can maybe get some rest and get right back on there. I did see people saying, oh good, maybe they'll have a week of rest. No, they're working on it right now. This isn't a week of rest. Hopefully maybe a 24-hour rest. But yeah, that's the news. Hope you guys enjoyed all this run through. If you did, leave a comment down below. Let me know if any of this stuff is interesting to you and what you thought about the news bits themselves. Make sure that if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. It helps support us. And also in the description below, there is a link for a tips link and Patreon if you want to support us monetarily. We definitely appreciate everybody that does. And also I'll welcome you guys down to the Discord link in the description and join our community if you love talking about anime and you love anime. There's definitely a lot of great people there to talk to. With that said, Y'all take care.